I think we're live
Are we live?
in your studio. Live in Kathy's studio.
That's right. We have to wait for our friends to join us.
It's true. For Quilting with Kathy.
That's right.
Our
don't
Monday
jump in
afternoon.
Too fast. I don't look so much more refreshed.
It was a good weekend, wasn't it?
It was a beautiful Saturday. Was beautiful. I hope you guys made it outside some. It was so.
Oh, Joan McRae's
pretty.
here. Hey, Ann
Look how
Krabs.
relaxed Joyce is walking now too.
Yeah, you should have all seen us about 12 minutes ago. 2 seconds ago, really. Hi, Diana Moore. Hey, Shelly.
Yeah, we're trying to keep our cool. We are much on Fridays, but Mondays are very busy.
We're busier.
Manic Mondays. Just another Manic
Mondays.
Monday.
Yeah, so Katie checked our voicemail at what time? At like 1 o'clock?
Yeah.
Tell them how many voicemails
We had 32 voicemails.
32 voicemails.
Yeah, a lot of those were from today.
Yes,
we're-
yes. And we have people that say, I called and left a message, and I called again, and now I'm calling again.
And now I'm
Like,
here outside. So thank you all for your patience. You've
you
just all been
are
wonderful.
Amazing. You guys are amazing. We're three women. We are strong.
We
but
are. We do what we can, and we thank you guys for waiting. Right?
It is awesome. Super, super awesome.
Cool. We got 31 people out there. Hi, Carol and Leah and Nadine, Loretta. Hello.
Hello,
Hey, Kay.
You guys haven't given up on me yet, huh? That's a good sign. All right.
I think they're ready after the weekend. I'm sure everyone missed you this weekend.
Well,
That's
yesterday was pretty dreary.
Yeah.
It was rainy and cold, and yeah. Joyce did she made banana bread and brought it to us today. That was good. And Katie made coconut macaroons.
I can't wait.
We are happy here. We're getting lots of good snacks.
Coffee and enjoy macaroni.
It is. It's really good. So this week we are going to focus on the So Kind of Wonderful book.
so kind of wonderful.
So Kind of
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yep. quick
One
curve
wonderful
rulers.
curve.
That's the name
Yep,
of them.
it's called the Quick Curve Ruler.
So Kinda
here,
Wonderful.
let me grab the ruler. There you go. Oh, stretch. Okay, here we go. So we're going to focus on this ruler. Which is it easier? Just probably over here.
Yeah, there
Is
you
it
go.
easier over here?
Yeah.
Oh, or here.
Oh, here it
really?
is.
There we go. So
Quick
we're going to focus
curve.
on the Quick Curve this week because it does so many different things. And so we thought, last week we did Drunkard's Path templates where we cut precisely, we pieced precisely, we didn't have to do any squaring up. We did some improvisational curves where we just kind of cut what we wanted to cut, and then we did need to square up. Then we went to the AccuQuilt where everything was perfect again because we know how AccuQuilt is. So today,
We did circles. We just set a circle.
oh,
set
and we
a
did set in
circle.
circles, which was also cut accurately, pieced accurately. Yeah, here's our circle. We'll show the,
Here's your circle.
yes, there's our circle.
And we are out of this wine glass fabric,
Yeah, that went
unfortunately.
fast. And you know what's really sad about it is I didn't get any from my stash before we sold it all, and I'm like really
You
sad.
have this.
This is
You
it. I
have
have
this.
one circle of this fabric. I should know better than to show you guys something really cute because you buy it all, which is super awesome.
That's what we want you to do.
That's what we want you to do. We
Here's
do.
your
And then
improv.
yes, and then here's our freeform curves, right? So today I thought I'm going to introduce you to the ruler and introduce you to the book. And then over the course of the week, we're going to do the Dragon's Glass. Yep, so we're going to do this one. We're going to talk about AccuQuilt's solution to this using the Go clamshell.
Super fun.
Super fun. Joyce is going to do that, I think, on Wednesday. was
Wednesday,
it?
I think.
And then we're going to talk about mini curves, which will be over here, our pumpkins. And then the very last session is going to be on the wedding rings, which I love this quilt.
It's so
Beth Dag
beautiful.
made this one, but I love it. So we thought it'd be fun to use one ruler the whole week instead of something new every single day. So be prepared to play with the Quick Curve ruler this week.
Carol has already added the ruler to her order.
Actually, someone called this morning and said, I don't know what ruler you're using today, but put it on my list.
But-
Lori Cotman.
Oh, is
Yeah,
it?
And
put Lori-
Joan did too. We had a couple people ahead of the
Yeah,
curve.
you guys are smart. You're getting onto my tricks. So we thought I'd make it easy this week. If we had one ruler, then we all know what we're playing with the whole week. And it has a lot of different functions. So we're gonna do some different things with it. So today I'm just gonna give you an orientation to the ruler. We're not actually gonna make a project today. We're gonna just learn about how does this ruler work. And inside of this book, this was a great companion. The One Wonderful Curve book. It has 12 really fun projects, and the one that I was going to start with, open it up here, is this table runner. So it's just the same shape. It's 2 fabrics. You don't have to worry about placement, and you get a innie and an outie with every piece of fabric, so you don't have to cut all your backgrounds and all your insides differently. You get the same cut. One cut gives you both pieces, and so that's what the graphic of it looks like. Super simple. So let's get started. This project has you start with 7.5-inch squares. And I've got some in different states. You can kind of see these guys have been trimmed down. These guys need to be trimmed down. And then I thought I'd actually cut some for you so you can see what it is I'm going to do. So it says in the instructions that I have 4 fabrics laid down here. So 1, 2, 3, 4 squares that are 7.5 inches. They're all the same size. In this case, they would all be facing up, because remember last week I had some up and some down, but I chose solids today. So can't mess it up, all right? There is no up or down. Okay. The way the ruler works is it has only one groove in it, so you never have to wonder what groove you're cutting in, because there's only one, okay? But how you line that cut up on the fabric matters. So what they have you do is, can you hand me that pen, please? Thank you. What they have you do, and it's in the instructions, so we'll just open up our instructions because it's very helpful. It'll tell you to mark in a 1/2 inch from one side and a 1/2 inch from another. Every pattern has different dimensions and different angles, so you got to follow what the pattern says as far as how you're going to cut that angle for this particular one. So I'm just going to mark down a 1/2 inch. Let's see this ruler. Let me get on my 1/2 inch line is right here. I'm going to put a little tick mark here. And I'm going to put another tick mark here at the 1/2 inch, right here. Okay, so I have a 1/2 inch tick mark here and a 1/2 inch tick mark here. And then I'm going to lay my ruler so that that 1/2 inch tick mark goes into that juncture, and I turn this around. Oops, you know what? I think I'm supposed to put it on this side. I've already messed up. Doesn't take long, does it? I'm going to do a 1/2 inch on this ruler. Let's see, 1/2 inch here. There we go.
So if you can't make your tick marks connect,
Yes, if
you're
something's
on the
wrong
other
with your tick
side.
marks, you're on the wrong side. There we go. Because we have an L on the bottom, so here's my L right here, and then I'm going to have my moon on the other side. Okay? I'm going to use my small rotary cutter because if you use your large one, it just doesn't go nicely around this curve. And how do I know that? Because I tried it. Didn't get all the way through. So I am going to use a smaller rotary cutter. This is a 28 millimeter. And then when you're using these smaller cutters, you really keep your cutter, because you're going around the curve, you really need to keep your cutter a little more vertical than you normally do. And then I'm just going to cut. And I should
doesn't
have,
sound like it cut.
I'm still not cutting these. It's so quiet. Is it actually cutting? All right, what am I doing wrong?
open?
It's open. This live, I hear it now.
It takes some muscle. You cut the first half.
What is it not doing? Do you like this? Isn't this a great video?
See, it happens to all of us, right?
I know, but I don't understand why it's not cutting. It's almost like the blade
Is too.
is too short. You know what's happening? Is the blade is too short with this ruler.
How did you cut it before?
I don't know. Let's try this one. That doesn't feel right either. That's better. It sounds better. All right. All right. Well,
So maybe you need the big one.
Okay. All right, guys. That was wrong. That was just wrong. Okay. For some reason, this blade doesn't feel like it's getting exposed. I might have to just be really, really vertical.
Is that the
I'm going to
18 or
practice
the
with this
28?
because
Is that the 18 or 28?
this is the 28, but it
Okay.
just seems short.
Poor thing.
I know, you poor thing. I know. Okay. Anyway, when all else fails, get the big boy. Right. So now we have our fabric, and this is what's different than with the Junker's Path. Remember with our Junker's Path templates, we had 2 different pieces with 2 different curves so that when they nested together, they made a square. This one, there's no seam allowances, so you can see when I put them together, my big piece, let me just move this color so you can see the 2 colors, this one is always going to extend out the sides. So after I sew it together, I'm going to end up with these things like this. And then we're going to square our block back up to get it to look like this. So I'm going to just do one for you. This is another time where we do not, It's just a very easy curve that we're gonna sew. So I'm gonna come on over to my sewing machine.
We gotta turn our lights off.
Oh yes, I'll turn my lights off because it makes a big difference. When you guys aren't here, my lights are on. Well, I try to keep my lights on. They say nobody's home, right? Lights are on,
Yep,
nobody's
so
home.
all the projects this week will be using the same ruler.
But
that
they
right?
will not be using, they won't all be out of this book. Some of them will be out of this book. This one that I'm showing you right now is, the techniques are in this book, but the wedding ring is its own pattern and the mini pumpkins is its own pattern. But we're gonna get to that later.
Yep, but they're all the same ruler. There is a mini version.
Yes.
We'll get to that later this week.
Correct. All right, so here are my two pieces, and you can see they start out cut together, but when I go to assemble them, I'm gonna actually leave a tail here, about a 1/2-inch tail. And I'm not gonna push them all together when I start. I'm just gonna get myself started. And I'm going to put my 1/4-inch foot on. I'm gonna do a couple stitches. I just gotta warm these machines up, tell it that I wanna sew. There we go. And then once I take 1 or 2 stitches, then I'm gonna start pulling my curve around. You always wanna get it kind of locked in, and then when I pull it around, I'm just worrying about this part from here to the needle. I'm not worrying about what's here. And I'm gonna just do a nice 1/4-inch seam allowance, and I'm just gonna do about 1 inch at a time. And I'm gonna keep on coming. And actually, I'm doing it upside down. I didn't pay attention, but they actually say that you keep the L on the lower, although it's feeding in okay this way, but it's actually even a little bit easier if I inverted it, which I'll do one more showing you the right orientation. This will still work, but I'm just coming around with my 1/4-inch all the way down. I'm gonna clip my thread. And then they have you press towards the moon. So I'm gonna press in towards the moon. But see how you get that nice curve? So Joyce, would you mind pressing
I'd be
that for
happy
me?
to press.
Thank you.
Come to our pressing area.
Yes, on our Martelli mat with our
First-
Panasonic iron.
We love those Panasonic irons.
Look how
Both of which are
nice
still
and
coming.
flat. Yes, they're on order. Look how nice and flat that is. Beautiful.
I know, but see how it's nice and flat,
Oh,
but
it's
how it does
beautiful.
distort? So you can see how the shape of the square distorts a little bit. And all of that is just fine because we're gonna use a square up ruler at the end. I'll show you that in a minute. So that's with putting the L on the top. Technically you're supposed to put the L on the bottom and do the moon. So I'm gonna do it one more time. And it really is about, this curve is not too tricky. It's a soft curve. So again, I let the pieces go where they will, and then I'm just gonna pull them together. Keep my 1/4-inch seam allowance along my fabric.
We have demystified the curve for Kay.
Yay!
Yay! Because you're only doing a straight portion of it. You're just gonna keep straightening it out. This actually goes a lot easier. It feeds in much easier. I don't have all that fullness of the L on top. So I'm just straightening out my curve. I just keep straightening it out as I go down. Almost. And there we go. Okay, so now we would just keep doing that for however many units we need. And I think for the table runner, it was 48 units. It was 24 peach squares and 24 white squares. So you only have to do 24 seams.
Not very many.
No, 28, or 48 seams, right?
This math is really hard.
Just follow the pattern.
My brain is tired after I lied. I said it wasn't, but it really is.
It's impossible not to have a tired brain on Mondays.
Yeah, we're going towards the
sun.
Yes, towards the crescent.
If it's white, it's the moon, but it's
Yes.
the sun right now.
Yes.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It's the setting sun. So we're going to it, towards it. Beautiful. So gratifying to have it lay so flat.
I know. They lay really flat, but they do get that distortion because the seam allowance pushes everything kind of out, right?
So now you're going to show
Now we're going to square up, and they say that you can use their ruler to do the squaring up, but I have to tell you personally, I love squaring up a ruler with the size ruler that I need my square to be. These Creative Grid rulers come in all different sizes, 5.5, 6.5, 7.5, 8.5, 9.5, 10.5. Whatever you need, they come in that size. So I want this to be a finished 6.5-inch square, so I like using a 6.5-inch square ruler. Yep, and then let's go ahead and put it on our Martelli mat. And then the way that we care about what we want to have happen is we want, so there's tick marks on our ruler, and we want the 1/8 tick mark, so this 1/8 tick mark right there, to be an 1/8 of an inch from the orange to the white, and I want the 1/8 of a tick mark here to be the same thing. So I want to be an 1/8 of an inch into the orange, into my L, okay? So an 1/8 here and an 1/8 here, and I'm going to cut two sides. And see how it doesn't even lay it square on top of it, and that's totally okay, because we are going to form it back into the size that we need it to be. All right, so I'm going to just cut this side. I'm going to rotate.
Isn't
cut
it nice
this
to have a
side.
mat? You don't have to lift your ruler.
Oh my gosh, Joyce, because
it's
normally I
so
reposition, but with this ruler, I don't even have to reposition. I just spin.
And it spins so easily.
There we go. And now
Perfect.
I've got my 6.5-inch with a little 1/8 inch here and an 1/8 inch here, and I'm going to just keep making a stack of those.
Totally not wonky.
No, look how square. So they go from this with the wonkiness to this.
Perfect.
Beautifully square.
All right.
Yes.
So the two tools we use today are the quick ruler and the 6.5-inch. I like the Creative Grid. I like it because it has a little bit of friction on it, a little resistant, a
Grips
sandpaper
it.
on the bottom. It's got really clean, thin lines, and it has a 1/2-inch side and a whole inch side. When I'm cutting, I rotate my ruler around to help me out, but I love that it's that finished size of what I'm going for. I think it's a lot easier than using a larger ruler and having to look in
for
on it
sure.
to settle it in. So.
That's true.
So that's the introduction to our quick curve ruler.
Can I do some show and tell?
Oh, would you please do some show and tell?
That was enough learning. Let's see some pretty things.
So Lana came by today and dropped. We told you on Friday that we got the Western medley in from AccuQuilt. So she came by today. Oh, that's the top. And I had the horses riding on their feet instead of their heads.
Oh yeah.
So she dropped off the quilt that she did. We were telling you about this on Friday. Look
Oh, look
at
how
this.
cute it is.
Isn't that?
Oh, that turned out awesome.
Well done, Lana.
Yes, thank you, Lana.
So that was made with this die right here. Does that look right?
Yes, with the feet down.
Put the feet down on his head. So this is the new Western medley die. So isn't that fun?
It's really fun with the grunge fabric too. The
It
grunge fabric is
is.
awesome.
It's
on it.
perfect
I
for
like it.
So that's our.
Also, didn't Lisa brought a show and tell too, but I'm not sure where it went. We'll show you that one tomorrow.
Yes.
The staff keeps finishing up projects and bringing it in. It's very fun for us to see everything that you all are
I get to
doing.
sew.
So,
I know.
yeah.
That's
So
it for today, right?
I think that's it for today. Elastic is on its way, and we will have it ready to go home with you on Wednesday. It's actually, we're counting it out and pulling it out.
Pressure's on.
Yeah, the pressure's on. So it's here, but we got to get it put together. So anyway, we'll see you all tomorrow.